All right. So a couple of few house items to get set up before we begin today's presentation. We will be taking questions today. It is a webinar, so if you have questions through today's session, you can go ahead and use the Q&A button at the bottom or the top of your screen for you to go ahead and submit those questions. I will be answering all the questions at the end, so feel free to go ahead and submit those, and then at the end during the Q&A session, I will be going back and taking a look at those and make sure that I'm answering all of those questions. So with that said, let's go ahead and begin. Hello, everyone. My name is Gordon Berridge. I'm the Senior Associate Director here at Bentley University. I am joined today by my colleague, Rebecca Simeon, who is going to be handling our chat today. So if you have any technical issues or any questions, feel free to go ahead and post them in the chat. If you have any questions for me about today's presentation, once again, you can go ahead and use the Q&A button here in the presentation. So today's session will be exploring your future, focusing on part-time graduate programs here at Bentley University in the McCallum Graduate School of Business. So just a couple of things. So Bentley University has been around for well over 100 years. We have about 67,000 alumni all around the world. We're really excited that Bentley University was just ranked as one of the best colleges in the US by the Wall Street Journal for 2025. We're also ranked as one of the most innovative schools in the Northeast, ranked #1 by the U.S. News and World Reports in 2025. And just recently, the Financial Times ranked our Master's in Finance program as #1 in the United States. And those are just a handful of some of our rankings that we'll have. But once again, just a couple of highlights of most of our most recent rankings that just came out. So let's talk a little bit about Bentley University and some of the different programs that we offer. And you can see the different programs that we offer here at the top of our slide. And one of the things I want to talk about is Bentley's graduate programs are really designed with working professionals in mind. With flexible completion times where you can complete your degree in as little as 12 months, or you can get up to 5 years. We offer evening courses, online and hybrid course formats. We offer a traditional fall and spring courses, but we also have summer and intensive options as well. Now, while you're earning your degree here at Bentley, there are also opportunities for you to prepare for certifications like the CPA, the CMA, or even the CFP, and many, many more. Students also get access to our trading room where you can access cutting edge tools like our Bloomberg terminals. I'll touch again on these in just a little bit as we go through today's presentation. So let's talk about the Bentley value add, because here at Bentley University, we're really fortunate to have a very deep bench of leadership knowledge and programs that are built for an immediate impact. Our courses are taught by faculty with industry experience, emphasizing on solving real-world business challenges, not just theory, with our interdisciplinary faculty have not just a business faculty, but also we have an arts and sciences faculty, and they work together to help deliver these programs. For example, we have this great chemist who has studied sustainable product design, who is actually teaching organizational sustainability for us here. And then we have Professor Iris Bergeron, who's a director of our MBA programs, who her expertise is in areas of interest such as cross-cultural management, sustainable leadership, international business, and global innovative behavior. And then you'll see some of our other great professors here as just a sample, and I'll touch a little bit more on them as we go through today's presentation. So let's talk about some real-world learning here at Bentley. So here at Bentley, you'll be able to implement what you learn right away. For example, Professor Kurt, who was from the last slide, is a great example of being able to create those real-world immediate impact opportunities. So Professor Kurt offers a series of courses that yield technical certificates. For example, last semester, he held a competition where we hosted Tableau and Alteryx user groups on our campus, and our students were able to showcase some of their project dashboards and workflows as part of the student analytic competition, demonstrating their analytical skills and creativity. Another example, one of our current part-time MBA students, who is currently a hospital site director, before starting here at Bentley with her MBA program, she never really understood what was happening in her weekly finance meetings. However, after taking an accounting course as part of her program, she suddenly understood what folks were talking about and could now have the skills and knowledge to learn to lead these meetings instead of just abdicating the responsibility to somebody else. Another great example of this is recently one of our graduates from our MSBA program, his name is Fred Dong, was recently interviewed and talked about how one of his courses was able to have an immediate impact for him. So he was taking a course called Optimization and Stimulation for Business Decisions. This class where they learned how to use statistical analysis and apply it to supply chain issues. So he was excited to see how quickly he could be applied, how this information could be applied to a supply chain in his prior business. Similarly, Fred did an internship at Mass General and Brigham Hospitals during his program, where he was making custom apps for them, leveraging what he was learning right in the classroom. So I know I've touched on this a little bit already, but I want to talk further about how we at Bentley use interdisciplinary by design into our programs. So, for example, we are a business school within a business university, which means we have both a robust business faculty and an arts and science faculty. So our faculty work together across disciplines to bring the most current understanding of issues to the forefront. Think about how our Masters of Business Analytics is housed in our math department, as opposed to being in a management department like at our other institutions. It allows it to be more technical than most MSBA programs. But since it is a business school, it can be more applied than most data science degrees. Another example of this, programs are co-developed by faculty across business, tech, and liberal arts like our new fintech major, which is a combination of our finance and computer science departments. And another example is our STEM MBA in AI, which is a combination of management, computer information systems, and our philosophy department. And both of these new programs are going to be launching in 2026. We also have our faculty with really great industry ties. For example, professors like Dr. Roman Beck, who studied blockchain, who collaborated with global business leaders to design forward-looking curriculum. We also have Len Pape, who happens to be the accounting program director. He has over 45 years of experience in accounting. And because of his experience and industry connections, he brought KPMG into his classrooms to talk about how they're integrating AI into their work. And this was all because of those connections that he had. We're also really fortunate. Bentley University is located just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, in the city of Waltham. And so that gives us the advantage of access to a major hiring hub. And global alumni networking fuels the internships and these full-time work experiences. We also have proven outcomes. Students land roles in internships at leading companies from health tech to sustainability. Bentley's Career Services Department has continuously been ranked among the best in the country for its outcomes. And I'll talk a little bit more about some of the different ways that our Career Services Department can support you in your interest here at in your MBA programs or some of our other programs as well. So here are some of our part-time graduate success stories. So we have Dennis, Mary, and Carly. So Dennis, he did his part-time MBA program here at Bentley. And when he started at Bentley, he was working at United Technologies as a senior financial analyst. Almost immediately after Dennis graduated from Bentley University with his part-time MBA program, he was hired at Thermo Fisher Scientific as a finance manager in their verticals in marketing. And this was a really big step up for him and gave him a lot more opportunities, specifically from the management perspective. And then we have Mary. So Mary started before coming and doing her MBA here, She did hers online. She worked for Venture Employer Services, where she was a marketing and communications specialist. During her experience here at Bentley in her online MBA program, she really got the opportunity to get that breadth and depth of knowledge in all those different functional areas of business. So much so that after graduating from here, she was able to start her own business, Maxima Marketing Strategies, where she's a founder and currently the CEO of this organization. So we're really proud of Mary for discovering this, discovering her new abilities, and then going on to really, well, let's just say maximize it in her new marketing opportunities. And then we have Carly. So Carly started here before her master's in human factors and information design, where she did hers part-time. She was an associate user and experience researcher for Sony Interactive. After graduating from her human factors and information design master's degree, she went on to get promoted to a senior UX researcher for PlayStation. So again, three really great success stories. And we're really fortunate that here at the McCallum Graduate School of Business at Bentley, we have a lot of these success stories. If you go onto our website, you'll be able to see more and more of these happen almost every single day. So let's talk a little bit about some of the research centers and labs that we have here at Bentley, where we offer students a great opportunity for that hands-on learning experience. So we'll start with the Huey Center for Financial Services. This gives those part-time students access to over 24 different Bloomberg terminals. You may have heard me refer to those Bloomberg terminals earlier, as well as industry tools, allowing them to apply the classroom finance concepts to real marketing scenarios, even during those evening hours. A quick example of this is how one of our part-time MBA students who is in an investment course is using those Bloomberg terminals to track and analyze a portfolio as part of a semester-long project, mirroring the work of a financial analyst. For the Bentley User Experience Center, this connects students with clients with client-based projects and usability labs, enabling part-timers to contribute to professional UX research and design without needing a full-time internship. Another great example of this is a student in the Master's in Human Factors and Information Design program was able to join a usability study for a healthcare app, where they were able to contribute insights and analysis in the evenings after they were done working. We also have the Center for Analytics and Data Science. This offers data-driven consulting projects where students collaborate with industry partners to solve real business problems, building portfolios with tangible outcomes on flexible timelines. This is great for some of our part-time MSBA students or our Master's in Business Analytics students who can decide to get a certificate in things like Tableau through the center to immediately have that impact on their job. Finally, we have the Computer and Information Science Sandbox. This serves as a peer-driven learning hub with workshops and tutoring that supports coding, analytics, and software development, allowing working professionals to sharpen tech skills at their own pace, including virtually. An example of this is a part-time student in our information systems courses can attend a weekend Python workshop to deepen their coding knowledge for a group project that they may be doing within their program. So those are just some of the hands-on learning experiences in just a few of the different centers that we have here on campus. So let's talk a little bit about the different career options and core support that you get here at Bentley University. So whether you are pivoting in a new field or accelerating in your current one, these are some of the tools that are here to support you. So we have VMock. It's an AI-powered resume reviews to help you stand out anytime on your schedule. We also have Interstride, which explores global career paths and job opportunities with tools for international job seekers. We also have Career Leader, where you can discover your ideal roles based on strengths, values, and motivations. Big Interview, which allows our students to practice interviews and get coached through video-based tools and expert guidance. We also have the LinkedIn Learning. which is their career masterclasses. We can learn from recruiters and career coaches to break into new fields or grow faster in your current role. And then finally, we have Vault, which is research industry roles and employers. Get interview prep and career advice to support your next step. This is just a handful of some of those really great tools that Bentley offers. We also have the ability to, with our career development office, for some of those signature events. So we're really fortunate where Bentley Graduate Career Development Department offers over 45 different programs each year, focusing on educating students on the internships and job search process, doing upskilling and guidance and support via one-on-one coaching. As a matter of fact, earlier today, I was just on a call with one of our career coaches. She was telling me specifically about how our current accounting firm partners are begging to speak with our current and incoming MSA students for opportunities and internships and future positions. So this is just another great example of how our career development office is working with industry to bring that connection to our current and incoming students to really help set you up for those great opportunities before you get here, while you're here, and then even after you graduate. So let's talk a little bit about those next steps. So the application requirements. So the application requirements are pretty straightforward. You're going to want to submit your resume, including a LinkedIn profile, one recommendation letter. There is one essay and an optional personal statement. Please do note the essay is a minimum of 300 words and a maximum of 500. We are currently GMAT or GRE optional. You do not need to submit your GRE or GMAT, but if you do, typically we're looking for a GRE quant score of 159 and a GRE verbal score of about of around the same side. We're for a total of around 318 for a minimum score. And then for the GMAT, we typically want to see a 550 at a minimum. However, we do really prefer a 600 if you submit a GMAT. We also will be taking a look at an English language test as well for our international students if you attended university outside of the United States in a foreign language. We accept the TOEFL, the IELTS, the Duolingo, or the Pearson's. For IELTS, we look for a score of 7, for the TOEFL, 100, Duolingo, a score of 130 or better, and then Pearson 61. We also will need to see your transcripts from all universities and colleges that you attended. Please do note we will accept unofficial transcripts from your institutions. However, you will need to submit official transcripts if you are admitted before you begin the program. Once again, for our international students, we will need a transcript evaluation as part of your application to be considered for the program. It must be evaluated by a NACES member. The most popular for this is probably WES or World Education Services. If you're unsure of this, you can schedule a time to meet with us and we can go over some of those with you as well. And then for our full-time MBA program, there will be an interview that you will need to do. The MBA program interview can be done in person or online. We typically do those via Zoom. There is also an application fee as part of the program. However, for those of you that are interested in applying for our fall 2025 program, yes, we are still taking applications. The application is currently being waived for all applicants. So this is a big part that we get a lot of questions about, which is financing your education. Currently, about 85% of our students receive some level of merit aid. So we offer tuition. Other ways that students pay for their program is tuition reimbursement, grants, and loans. So many folks do take advantage of their company's tuition assistance programs to help offset the cost of graduate education. We recommend that prospective students talk directly with their HR or benefits department to be able to understand what tuition support is available, any eligible requirements. For example, do you need to have a certain length of employment? Do you need to stay with them for a certain amount of time? You also want to ask questions about reimbursement timelines or grade requirements if you decide to use tuition reimbursement. But you also want to ask about whether Bentley's programs qualify under your company's policy. Please note every organization has different policies, so it's really important to get the full details early in your decision-making process. So the application deadlines, like I mentioned before, we are still taking applications for domestic and CVIS transfers up until August 1st, 2025. For those that are interested in our spring term, where classes begin in January, the spring application will become open on August 1st, with the priority deadline being October 1st, with our standard deadline being December 12th of 2025. For those that are interested in looking at next fall of 2026, application opens August 15th, with round one deadlines of November 15th. Round two, December 15th, and round three, February 1st. For those of you that are international students who are seeking an F1, the absolute deadline for our fall 2026 application will be June 1st. And then for our domestic and CVIS transfers will be August 1st, 2026. So with that being said, sometimes people take a look at these opportunities and they may not be ready to jump all the way in to a master's degree program. We do have our executive and education department here on campus, which offers opportunities for shorter term programs where maybe you just kind of want to dip your toe in and just try it out. For example, we have our Leadership Accelerator, where this program consists of 3 different leadership assessments. It's typically done over a 3-day of in-person classroom training, and each one of those is about 4 hours with a one-on-one executive leadership coaching. We also have our Essentials in Management, which is our mini MBA program, which also is a shorter term program that has been designed for those wanting to grow and sharpen their knowledge and skills around some of those key business elements. It involves interactive engagement and experiential learning with a cohort of peers that you'll go through together. And it really gives you the opportunity to get that taste and that flavor of an MBA program in a much smaller experience. And so then finally, let's stay in touch. There are some great ways if you're interested in further exploring that executive and professional education, those short-term programs, you can scan that QR code. You can also schedule a time to talk with one of our current student ambassadors. We have some amazing current graduate students who are so excited and willing to talk to you about their own experiences. You can also set up a time to talk with myself or one of my colleagues for an admissions consultation, where we can talk with you about your experience, your background, and be able to answer all your questions. You can follow us on Instagram or follow us on LinkedIn as well. So lots of great opportunities there to connect with us. So that's the end of my presentation. I do want to pause right here and give an opportunity to answer any questions that you may have. And so I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the chat or at the Q&A. I don't see any in the chat, but if you do have any questions, you can go ahead and use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. But if not, you can always schedule a time to speak with us. As a matter of fact, actually, you know what? I'm going to post those QR codes one more time so that people can really get a sense and get a chance to see those. Here we go. All right, so we got a question here. How is the program curriculum structured, case studies, simulations, lectures, etc.? And how does that influence the learning experience? Oh, that's a great question. So here at Bentley, it's, as I mentioned before, it's really all about that hands-on learning. We also do a lot of case-based studies here at Bentley, where you be given those real-world experiences or real-world case problems, where you'll be able to solve them and talk with them about in your classroom with those professors. There's also a lot of opportunity to do those simulations, work with it in one of our different labs or one of our different centers. We also do lectures. I mean, you know, this is an education, so some of our program here at Bentley, we're also going to be setting those up with some lectures as well, but it's a lot of classroom collaboration as you go through the program. But a lot of it will be case studies, simulations, working with real companies, and getting the opportunity to connect through there. What type of extracurricular activities and clubs are available to part-time students? So we have this amazing graduate student GSA, Graduate Student Association. That's a lot of different clubs or opportunities. We have them based on different programs like analytics. You can gather with for our international students who are looking at this. We have different international ones as well. But we offer activities and clubs both here on campus and around the United States. We also have a great alumni network in a lot of different cities throughout the US that you can participate in as well, even as a current student. And once you begin your experience here with us, you'll gain access to that where you can reach out and connect with different students in different areas. I was just talking to some of our alumni office folks here, and they're working on some events in places like New York City. They're doing some events in Denver, San Francisco, Dallas, just to name a few. And so there's lots of different opportunities. And obviously, we have the ones here on campus as well. So, how can I describe the culture of the part-time MBA program? So, one of the things that I really love about the part-time MBA program, the culture is a lot. Everybody who comes into this program is expected to have a voice, is expected to participate in the classroom. So that just means you're, as I mentioned before, you're not just sitting there just listening to somebody lecture. All right. You're having those hands-on opportunities. You're doing group projects. You're working in case studies. And the professor is really looking to integrate you and your experiences into the program. So I would say it's a very collaborative environment where you get an opportunity to work with people from different experiences and backgrounds and careers that maybe you wouldn't normally interact with. But it's a very welcoming and accepting experience as you go through it. Um, can students defer classes or take breaks from the program if needed due to work or personal commitments? So the answer is yes. I would really encourage that if you do need to take some time off, like a semester, that you can go ahead and reach out to our academic advisors and they can work with you on that. In the past, I've had students take a semester off because of pregnancies or for work trips or things like that. And so if you do have something that you do need to do, I would recommend before you do anything, talk with our academic advisors because you want to make sure that you're staying on track. You also want to make sure that there's going to be new financial implications as well. If you're getting any type of financial aid or anything else, you also want to talk with our financial advisors as well before you take any steps to taking any time off. But the short answer is yes. But again, you just want to make sure that you're communicating strongly with the university about anything that you want to do before you go ahead and do that. Great question. Thank you for asking. Are you able to look for a supervisor for your thesis project or you'll be assigned to one? That's a great question. So here for a lot of the part-time programs, there won't be a thesis project per se. There will be end projects for courses, but not necessarily for one of your programs. And if you do have an end project like that, it would probably be the professor that you're taking the class with. If, for example, you do have an end of the year project or anything like that, you can also work with a program director. Our different program directors for each program are very involved in this with the students, and so they can work with you as well. But again, as far as I know, there are no end of like thesis projects per se with any of our programs. It would be more about an end project within a course, and that would be with the professor there. So we have a question here specifically for the HFID program, which is our Human Factors and Information Design program. Um, let's see here. Is it recommended for career switchers? So not working in a related field, but studying design in their own time. Thanks in advance. So, it's interesting. The Human Factors and Information Design program is really at the crossroads of really three areas, which is technology, design, and psychology. And so typically, as people are coming into the program, they usually have one or two of these areas, and they're looking to augment that with one of those other areas. Like sometimes people might come in with maybe a technology and a design, but don't have that psychology piece. Or maybe they have the psychology and the technical piece, but not that design aspect. And so we will work with you in helping you develop that. One of the great things about our human factors and information design program is that part of the application process is you are going to have a conversation with the program director. Her name is Janelle. She's actually a graduate of the program as well. And so she's going to talk with you about the experiences, about what you're looking to do within the program. And she can really help give you some great advice as part of that, but can talk to you through that experience. And whether or not, maybe this is or is not the great fit for you. But it's a great opportunity to ask those questions and really make sure that it is going to be the right fit if you are looking to change careers. And again, I will say we have had students that are career changers. But again, great opportunity to talk with Janelle, who's the program director for our Human Factors and Information Design program. Um, Correct. So I have a question here about whether or not there is a thesis for our accounting or finance. There is no thesis at the end of the program that you'll need to finish as like a capstone project. Again, there may be some capstone projects within a course, but not within the program itself. Now that is current. Please do note that we're always looking to innovate and change our programs. That might change in the future, but as of our current programs, there is no thesis or capstone project that tops it all off. But again, we are offering we're working on a lot of great future programs and opportunities. So please do note in some of our future offerings that may be included in the process, but currently there is not. What makes the ideal part-time candidate at Bentley? And so, again, I talked about it a little earlier, and it's really for those students. What we're looking for are those candidates that can really bring a voice to the experience, someone that is willing to share their experiences, their voice, because you're going to learn a lot in the classroom. Obviously, you're going to learn a lot from the professor, but you're also going to learn a lot from your fellow students as you're going through. And so oftentimes when we're looking at applications, I'd really try to still tell students, what can you bring into the program? What experience, what exposure are you going to bring in? Because it's such a collaborative environment, because you're going to be expected to participate in so much, what can you bring into the program? But I think also students that have done their research, students who have really looked into the program, that have an idea or a goal of where they want to go within the program, but also after they come out of the program as well. Now, I will say that doesn't mean you can't change your mind as you go through the program. However, we have a lot of students that do that. However, you do want to make sure that at least as you're coming into the program, you have some goals and some objectives that you want to meet for that program. But again, I promise we won't hold you to it. If you do decide to change that and you want to do something else, you'll be able to do that as well. So what's the average class size here at Bentley University? Another great question. So the average class size is about 26 to 28 students in a class. For those in-person classes, I think the max is about 32 that I've seen. I've seen a couple of classes who go over. If it's a really popular class, maybe they may commit at 33 or 34. But once again, here at Bentley, we are really trying to keep those courses to a smaller size because it is such a collaborative environment. And where we start to get into those classes that are too big, it really does take away from allowing students to collaborate and share their experiences and communicate within the classroom. So we do try to keep those a little bit smaller. If you are taking a fully online course, like in our accelerated online MBA program, those do tend to really stay around 26 because they are online. They tend to be a little bit smaller in exposure as well. Can students, part-time students, switch to full-time status later if needed? The answer is yes. Once again, you want to talk with your academic advisor. If you are going to be going from part-time to full-time, again, you just do want to make sure you're checking and talking with our advisors beforehand. And also you want to make sure that you're checking in with your financial aid advisor too here on campus to make sure that there's going to be no financial implications if you are receiving any type of financial aid through us. But especially from the other side of that, if we have any students who are starting full-time and going part-time, there will be implications for that if they are receiving any type of financial aid. But if you're not receiving any financial aid, the answer is yes, you can easily go from full-time to part-time or part-time to full-time as you go through the program. Just once again, you want to make sure that if you are receiving any type of assistance through your job, that they too are aware of that, so there's no implications as well. But once again, we're happy to talk with you a little bit about that. And again, you can talk to our academic advisors and they can work with you through that as you go through that process. These are all really great questions. I really appreciate it. It looks like we've gone through all of the questions at this time. As I mentioned, I'm going to share, oops, I thought I shared this earlier. Um, You can schedule a time to speak with us. You can set up a student appointment with one of our current ambassadors. You can set up a time to speak with myself or one of my colleagues. You can also follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, or if you're interested in some of our executive and professional education, you can scan that there as well. So once again, thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate your questions. I appreciate your time. I look forward to hopefully seeing you here on campus very soon. And I hope you enjoy your morning, your afternoon, or your evening, wherever you are in the world today. Thank you all so much. Bye-bye.